displaying their discontent with Brexit and also with the Conservative Party leadership hopeful Boris Johnson, who is pretty much on his way to becoming the next Prime Minister. Now, the protesters have marched in central London, waving European Union flags and chanting slogans such as "Let's stay with the EU" and calling on the government to stop the Brexit mess. The colourful banners and European Union flags filled the streets with crowds singing and chanting as they marched towards the Parliament Square. The protesters are calling for a second referendum on Brexit, while some are demanding for a complete stop to the Brexit process.
Boris and Brexit, my hope is that Boris is so terminally incompetent that Brexit won't happen. That's my hope. He doesn't succeed at things. He's a very lazy man. He's a complete stranger to the truth. And I'm hoping that will cause Brexit to founder.
Now, the campaigners opposing Britain leaving the European Union have unfurled a Boris blimp after the Trump blimp. This, of course, is now what is becoming popular in Britain, and this was unfurled outside of the British Parliament in London. The giant inflatable blimp wore Nigel pants, named after Nigel Farage, the leader of Britain's Brexit party. Now, the blimp's T-shirt had about £350 million written on an image of Boris Johnson. This points, of course, to the disputed £350 million a week savings that Brexiteers had promised once the country leaves the European Union.
Boris, as Prime Minister, as he looks set to be, he has promised that he will take us out of the European Union on the hardest possible terms of Brexit. That is absolutely not what this country voted for back in 2016. It's not what the Brexiteers themselves said they were going to do if we had a leave vote in 2016. So we say that 3.5 years on from that referendum, it's time to go back to the people, check in with them, and make sure that this government doesn't deliver a mandate that is now 3.5 years old.
Now, Brexit without a divorce deal would abruptly wrench the world's fifth largest economy away from the European bloc. Britain is yet to leave the Eurozone more than 3 years after the country voted to leave the bloc in a referendum. All right, let's now shift our attention to the other side of the Atlantic, where the tussle between US President Donald Trump and the Squad continues to gather steam. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, who is part of the squad of 4 congresswomen of color, has come out with a fresh attack on Donald Trump. Cortez has blamed, quote-unquote, men like Trump for having racially divided America. Listen in.
Men like him have been telling women like me to go back to my own country for a long time. It's not a new thing. But what is hurtful is that when he, as an elected leader in the United States, does that with thousands of people, he is putting millions of Americans in danger. That's what the real problem is. It's not about me or my safety. It's the fact of what he's telling every person in this room and in rooms like this across the country.
Now, Cortez also took aim at the president for the send her back chants during his rally. If you remember, on the 18th of July, the crowd at one of Donald Trump's rally had broken into chants of send her back that were aimed at the 4 congresswomen who have roots from other countries, but are as much U.S. citizens as Donald Trump is.
He absolutely did. He said, I stopped it immediately. Roll the tape. He didn't. He kind of presided over the situation. He relished it. He took it in, and he's doing this intentionally. I do think it's important that with that chant, what he told this country is that he doesn't want to be president anymore because he wants to pick and choose who he is a president to, and that's not a president.
The whole issue, of course, started with Trump's racist tweets where he asked the congresswomen to leave the country. Since then, the issue has become a raging one across the United States, with many people calling it a decisive point in American history.